Wait, so it doesn't show up until you hit live, I guess.
Yeah, we're live right now.
That's weird. Mine is not tweeted. Let me read the Oh, so this one, now mine shows video again.
Yeah, your mic's hot too. Just keep that in mind. I'm also good at video.
My text sucks.
All right, welcome everybody into New Standards, yet another live stream that you may or may not want in your feed. Sorry, only I get a kick out of that, apparently. And our crowd, and the crowd in the back. Yeah, Alt, how's it been, man? I feel like it's been a grip since we debriefed.
Debriefed, yes. It has been a grip. Been good. Just been busy grinding. Finally on the tail end of this stupid sinus infection being over. So cheers to that. But doing well, staying busy.
Well, I am feeling happy for you that you are feeling better because you've been feeling not so good. And that is terrible. Wait to replay.
Yeah, I agree. I concur.
I like how you're getting a little bit of the facial here too. I think
just being lazy.
I'm rubbing off on you. The never shave ever.
It's
like I would fit right in as a bush people, like a bushman.
As a bush people.
Like I'm not a big like shave every day guy. I don't know. Like I feel like it irritates my skin, especially in the wintertime.
Yeah, the skin irritation. Do you try using like shaving cream? Do you use shaving cream? Or you just grab a razor and just like
I like one.
This is so rough on my skin.
No, I used to shave in the shower and it was awesome. Like that was the only place I shaved. Like get the mirror and just be like, because my pores are nice and open. And then
I've never shaved in the shower.
Oh, it's the best. It's the best shaving experience. And then we had a shower mirror, and then something happened to it. Don't know what. And then
did you break? Oh, that's what happens. You broke it. Now you're on 7 years bad luck. How long has it been since you broke it?
Honestly, I think it was before we moved into our new house. It was that long ago.
Oh wow. Okay, so it's already ran its course then.
Yeah. No, but I used to shave all the time, especially before I went to work. But then, I grow this really great Italian Mario mustache. It's like, why give up on such a good thing?
Well, I think you need to trim the bottom half and just give us the Mario stash.
No, can't possibly. I refuse to do that. Refuse to lose all the way around.
I mean, there was a whole period where that was like a whole hipster movement. That came back in style. You could have flaunted it for a good 10 years, guilt-free there.
Yeah, I mean, if I had the type of mustache I could really like twist it and like curl it, I would. Then I'd be like Wario, like
Wario.
But
I met one of the dudes one time that had like won nationals or whatever. That shit, but his was like it was insane, dude. Like that's just his identity in his life was just that beard.
Yeah, have you ever got like the
yeah, snaps? I've snapped before.
Like the hot towel shirt, like the
Oh yeah. That's nice. That's really nice.
That's a luxury experience, and that's what I'll tell you. It's luxurious. All right. Well, considering the last couple times we came on, there wasn't much going on.
Like got one of those in Thailand, actually.
You got a hot towel shave in Thailand?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
It was like a massage and a shave, and also it was like a whole spa day. It was like $30. See, that was like $20, and I left them like 50% tip.
Yeah, you were living the dream. My wife often refers to the French like there was a French restaurant right down the street from our hotel, and she went there by herself one time because we were busy, and she was like, it was the best meal I've ever had. Like I couldn't put down my silverware without them replacing it with clean silverware. She was like, I was the only person in the restaurant. Um, and yeah, for
fun.
like $45, complete 5-star, five courses.
Okay,
Good for you.
And get doted on the whole time.
Yeah, good for you. Enjoy your life. Yeah, the last 2 times we got on, we've really bullshitted about anything but the blockchain. So today I thought, in honor of the constant development going on out there,
Yeah,
why don't we take a peek back into the grid and see what's happening? I know I saw Pigment. You want to tell me about Pigment?
yeah. So Pigment is its goal was to just add a social element to the Luxo, social experience. So it's something. It's super simple. You basically can just log on. You can claim your free NFT, which is a little pig face, and then you can go through and update that. Currently, we have like 6 faces, ranging from angry, sad, to love and happiness and whatever you're kind of feeling. But it's like kind of a way to showcase, how you're feeling across the Luxo ecosystem. But we're using the dynamic updatable metadata, so it displays angry one day, and you can actually add a little note too of like if you want to say why you're angry, And then whenever you're feeling good and happy again, you can swap that out and change it, and it'll get reflected across the ecosystem. So yeah, why don't you mint one and kind of take us through the process? Have you minted one yet?
No, I haven't. So this
Perfect then.
is a
Perfect.
great opportunity. Again, love the mini apps. And before I even get any deeper into Pigment,
Yeah.
I was literally like, I think you might have caught the tail end of me talking to Beef Banks yesterday. We were kind of like, what is going on with Luxo? Well, he was asking, and I was like, you got to understand, like the long-term roadmap for UE is like really building value around this kind of like building a way for like developers, users to come in and then add value on top of it, right? So it's like
Right.
it's like Farcaster, but like better, way better, like
Stackable,
Lens, but better, right? So it was, as I'm poking through this morning, and I was looking at my my mobile app, and I'm checking out grids because, believe it or not, that's a great way to pass the time when you're
it is
doing your business.
Oh, whoa. Okay.
Well,
No,
I'll let
I'm
you
not.
or whatever that means. I keep running across things where I'm like, this is really cool. And every single thing that gets added, it just adds another layer of KEWL cool to the experience. And Pigment's one of those, like, super rad. I was also thinking, Alts, now we've gone way down the rabbit hole of what is Ethelorian thinking. I was thinking, like, it'd be really cool if, eventually when the feed comes up, someone builds a feed, whether it be Soul Feed or whether it be like an integrated feed into UE, whatever it is. If like I'm scrolling up my feed and I actually see your mood as a post in my feed, right? Like I'm like,
right.
Scroll. I'm like, oh, he's biddling today.
yeah, that'd be cool.
Like, that would be really cool to see. And I think that that's an opportunity, like each one of these mini apps could, in theory, be embedded as a frame into some type of feed system in the future. Is it happening right now? No. Could it be in the future? Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's all metadata that's on chain, right? So like even for these guys, the message and the mood, they are, and the timestamp, those are like traits on chain. So
all right, well, let's go through this. Let's clone it to my profile. Okay, now going to my profile.
Clone yeah, so for this one, you have to clone your profile to be able to use it, because you got to display it, right?
Oh yeah, it even cloned in as a large size. Is that because you set it as a large size in your?
I think so. Yeah, I think it clones the same size. Maybe, I don't know if it always did. I don't think it always did that, but it does now.
It's the default.
It's really nice.
All right, so let's save the changes. And it's probably trying to trigger a transaction, and I'm not paying attention. And let's go up here. Oh, I know what's happening. I'm not logged into my extension at all.
Oh my gosh. Major fail.
Yes. An apple a day keeps the doctor away, and a blockchain transaction a day keeps the bears away.
Oh man. Okay. So it's so terrible. Kudos to you and your dad joke, buddy. Welcome to the squad. That was awful. I love it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
That quote you said, the one you said the last couple of streams. You've said it a few times, which I don't remember. Man, I wish I'd have took note of where I heard that. But the one you talk about where being liberal, or I guess, yeah, liberal when you're young and conservative when you're old. I heard that in a movie or a TV show recently. I think it was on Reacher. I think it was
On Reacher.
If I had to guess, because that's what I've been watching.
I don't know what's going on here.
I was literally that meme from Once Upon a Time in America. I was like, or no, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, or whatever that was. What's the
Time in Hollywood? All right. So this is, I'm having trouble. This is not firing a transaction here. So in real time, you're going to watch me debug this. So if I go to my extensions and I manage extensions here, we'll share this tab. Whoop. I'm going to manage my extensions here. So what I'm going to do, right? So you might load up this screen and you will not see update up here.
Yeah, this is good to do because a lot of people from time to time will have an issue and it can easily be solved this way.
Yeah, it could potentially just be an update. Like you don't have the most current release of the extension. So you go in here, you click on developer mode, you come up here to update, you click on update. Down here it says extensions updated. You can see I'm on 3.0.0, the beta .77. So okay, let's going back now here. I'm going to, what I'm going to do, Alt, is I'm going to come out of that screen entirely. I'm going to go then back to UE and try that again because I was having a little bit of an issue there. And we are nothing but QA testers. if we do anything well, we QA test. So I am going back to your profile now. I know you can't see it, but this would not be entertaining for anyone. So I'm just, give me a hot minute to clone this back to my profile. The reason I had to clone it the second time is because I did not get an opportunity to save it. I was having an issue. Don't worry about me. I'm doing the work. There's lots of work going on behind the scenes and you can't see it.
Literally, it's bad whenever whenever the waiting song played completely out and we're still waiting.
Yeah. I don't know why. I'm experiencing an issue right now, which probably is user error on my end. It's probably my Chrome browser, but I'm having trouble locking that thing in. Alt. I'm having an issue. I'm having an issue, and it's
one of many.
It's definitely on my end. The reason I know it's on my end is I have some other things that are not blockchain related that are currently breaking in my browser. Probably because I haven't shut down this particular browser in 1,000 days. So
1,000 days. Wait, are you one of the ones that just leaves your computer on 24/7? Are you one of those guys? I've been that guy before.
All right,
never again.
All right, let me close this entire browser down and then let's bring it back up.
Well, if you run into issues, I can just do it on my end as well.
Yeah, let me check because I think I also have multiple browser instances up across multiple multiple Chrome profiles. So if we're talking about potential for, nope, don't want to do that.
What were you gonna do? Slip a nip?
No, I almost just ended the stream.
Oh. And enjoy your April Fool's Day.
And we're done. All right.
So we're waiting on that. Does your family partake in April Fool's jokes ever?
Dude, my daughter gets me my youngest gets me every year. So 2 years ago.
How do you fall for it every year?
She's clever, man.
You got to be clever on April Fool's.
So one year they swapped out all the orange juice with macaroni and cheese mixed with water. And I don't skip orange juice. I like to take a big gulp.
Oh, out of the carton?
No, I poured it in a glass. So I poured it in a glass and
you made the thing. It was like the carton.
I didn't look.
You have glasses this size.
Yeah, like I poured it in like a plastic, whatever. I poured it. I took a sip and it was awful. And again, it wasn't a sip. It was more of a gulp.
A gulp. Yeah.
It was gulp-tastic. And we had immediate issues. The issues being it tasted awful. 2 years ago, she put marshmallows in all of my shoes, which was funny. And then, I had to take all the marshmallows out of my shoes, and I thought I got them all. Well, last year on April Fool's Day, I woke up to a line of ants walking into my underwear drawer, which she had also put marshmallows in the back of my underwear drawer, and I had yet to find those. Right.
In the back of your drawer.
Because in the back, I only use the underwear in the front of the drawer. You don't use the stuff in the back of the drawer. Like that stuff might never see the light of day. I woke up to literal ants in my pants. She got me 2 years in a row with that. And
you
it was
became the literal ant in the pant guy.
Yeah, ant in the pant guy. And she got me it was like one of those situations where she obviously got me. And she didn't intend for that to work 2 years in a row, but it totes did. So
the universe made that happen.
So this morning, again, April Fools, I'm not really paying attention to it. And I went up to get coffee maybe about 8:45 this morning after working. And I grab a coffee mug and I pull it down from the shelf and I get it splashed with water. And I'm like, what the hell? Why is there water in a coffee mug on the shelf? So I look at it and I'm thinking, maybe I lost my mind at some point putting these dishes away, and I just put away a coffee mug with water in it. So I dump it out and I go to grab another coffee mug, and then
awful.
I got water on me again. I was like, God damn it. And then I started looking at all the cups and I started dying laughing. She filled instead of storing the coffee mugs down, right, so you don't get dust in them or whatever, she turned them all over and filled them all up with not enough water that you would notice when you pick it up, but enough water that if you do it carelessly, you just splash yourself.
Do you take your coffee cups down like this?
Well, if you're not paying attention, listen, you are exposing.
Yes, I am. Man, so that reminds me, when I waited tables back in the day at this one spot, we had a collective prank that we would do. So there was the soda machine, right? And you'd have all the sodas and stuff and the ice or whatever, but the trays that you put drinks on and carry them out, we would put those up on top of that. So you just reach up there and grab one. Every once in a while, you just fill it with water and you put it up there, and then somebody goes to grab it, and it's just like, you can always tell because you just hear from the kitchen.
Such a jerk.
We used to do so many different pranks. One of my favorite pranks too, in that spot, they always made you tuck in your shirt. And so what I would do, I would grab a handful of ice and then walk to somebody as they're standing there talking to their table and oh, excuse me, and then just dump ice down the back of their shirt. Because then they have to just stand there and take it because they're literally taking the order or whatever. Oh,
you're a troll, bro. You're a troll. All right, here we go. Now I have solved this browser extension issue, which is complete.
Go.
I think that is as a power user, someone who uses profiles a lot, I ran into a problem that other people could potentially run into. It didn't work right when I clicked the button. So immediately my first thought was, God damn you people who make this. Why did you make this inferior product that has screwed me? And then I realized right away, it actually has nothing to do with the developers who made the product. It was me who just couldn't shut down a browser. had 7 windows of the same Chrome extension up, each with 10 tabs on it.
Your computer was just having a conniption. It was
my computer couldn't figure out which window it wanted to open the browser extension. All right, here we go. Now we're back. Now we have returned to a place that I feel comfortable.
Congrats, buddy.
Thanks. Welcome. All right, here we go. And getting this up on the screen. Here we go. We got Pigment.
All right.
Pigment. Okay, it says to use Pigment, clone to your grid first. I did that. One click connect. Man.
The one click to connect shit is so nice.
Amazing. The up provider knew right away that the grid element right here was underneath my profile. I wonder how it did that. Maybe we'll talk about that at some point. Right now, it's not the time. Now's the time to play with the pigs. All right. So we've got angry. I could be angry, sad, sus, middle, love, or rich.
How you feeling today, Ethan? We just did that in unison.
I am in love with my profile. And then we mint the mood. Waiting for a transaction to fire. And okay, I see my transaction screen over here. That's fantastic. In the future, it'll be better. So there's one thing that'll be better right away.
Mm-hmm.
You can see we're showing the browser extension right here. At some point, when I'm not seeing all this gobbledygook,
Mm-hmm.
right, it'll definitely be better. But right now,
For sure,
tis what it is.
Now, are you using which relay are you using?
This relay right here, I'm actually using my own.
Oh yeah,
I'm using the browser extension.
Show him the difference too there. Like, so as you can see that he can crank up the speed on his own custom one if he wants.
Yep, that's right. It's my custom one. So if I never want it to go through, I just go all the way down to the left. And if I want it to go through right away, I crank it all the way up to the right. It gets confirmed pretty quick. And if I want to use the universal relayer, then I can. You can see my gas quota up here, which is actually quite nice. But because I want to play with the hot rod, I'll use my own browser extension. You know, I added 30 lux to my browser extension on my PC, and I did it because I was like, yeah, you know, it'll cover me for a while. I'm like, wait, idiot.
Yeah, I did the same. I put 15. I think they're 20. Oh, cool. Yeah, it'll cover me for like 9 years.
Yeah, I'm gonna run my own relay service for people. I've got enough lugs in there. All right, let me confirm this now. All right, so go to the bottom. This is a great feature too. Again, if you are a long time Lux person, you're aware of this, but long click to confirm. Oh, I clicked. Oh no, I didn't want it.
It'd be cool if that changed colors like your relayer tab thing does. Like,
no, it's fun.
It's like gets
you can
closer
like
to.
You can like catch it halfway.
This is a new mini game.
Here's the mini app. So it closed that transaction window because it is actually we're back on the
It'd be like those kid games. It's like you're laying in bed and you like throw the tennis ball and see how close you can get to the ceiling without hitting it.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Now I've got my pigment. Okay. I'm in love with my profile, and I have my mood right here. Right.
So you'll have to, log out to be able to see or disconnect.
Skadoosh. And that's how it shows, which is pretty cool.
Well, it'll take a second. It takes a little second for the message to pop up.
So the question, will it show up? Because I have the grave.
Oh, if you've never meant it before, you'll have to go ungrave that first.
Yeah.
I had the same thing. I was like, wait a second. Oh.
So now we're going one level deeper in this beta test. So Universal Grave, if you have it configured, there's 73 brave souls who have configured the Universal Grave. I'm one of them. I get
me as well.
I am protected by the grave all the time. I'm also foiled by the grave frequently.
We're never spared.
Where did it go? It actually does a really great job. Universal Grave actually working off the relayer. I'm sorry, Universal Receiver. So it is actually understanding that there is a transaction inbound and then rerouting it. So here we go. Let's
well, if you ever remember ahead of time, you can just whitelist the address if you wanted.
Whitelist the address that is wanted. And the grave is loading. Why are you loading for so long?
Oh, we got some alpha from Fabian.
Wait a minute. What is the alpha?
Well, it was in regards to debugging vibes. Con ults to your extra.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said, make sure you register your functions here so they show nicely decoded.
That's right. And the grave, I don't know why it's not loading for me right now. Wow, I'm QA testing. We are live testing in real time. Things are going to happen. So what should happen here is I should be able to get the asset for you so you can see the metadata. Unfortunately, it's living in the grave right now. And the grave, for whatever reason, is being...
You probably have the grave open in 9 other tabs or something.
There's a chance that I have This is complete user error on my side. I'm not gonna lie. All right. Well, this demo is going less than wonderful at the moment. Oh, do you want to take the screen share and show me what this looks like on your end at underneath your universal page?
Yeah, let me pull it up here.
We can get a sense for what's happening here.
Here, let me do a thing here real quick.
So
just like sharing screen.
sad clown.
Okay, so
Please send me a DM. Let me know how you feel about me doing less than superior work today.
Okay, so I just logged into my Draco's account because I have not minted one there yet. So
okay, then you take us through the whole process. This is where we should have started to begin with.
Well, I wanted to see you bumble it up.
Yeah, I know.
That way we could be like,
just wanted to see me make mistakes because I'm good at it.
Okay, so this is what it looks like with the message actually popped up there. You can see.
That's fantastic.
Social.
Maybe if you zoom in on that screen, people would appreciate it more.
You're not the boss of me, bro. All right. Let me see here. Okay, so
Luxo is social.
Luxo is social. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is clone to the Profies.
Good job. You're doing a great job. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
Thank you, buddy. I was not gonna let them. Okay, here it goes. It's loading in.
Oh, hold on. Got a message from year one. I'm not sure if Lex is behind it, but here 1 second. And comments. Skadoosh. Probably loading forever because you have a ton of assets. Sorry, big refactor coming soon. Listen, that's okay in my world. I'm the person, call it user error on my side. I am just collecting all of the assets. Do you have an asset? I'll collect it. Ping me in my DMs, Ethelorian.
You have an asset?
You have an asset, and you have an asset. They all have assets.
All right, long clicking to confirm, loading this guy in.
I think that it's actually on my side, honestly, because I'm struggling to even represent my DMs at the moment. Like, no, maybe I should at some point just close a few tabs.
All right, let's get into this. Okay, so
my computer, right? The few hamsters inside my computer right now, they're just tired. They've got the meme. I'm tired, boss. I can't run anymore. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I'm completely distracting you from what you're trying to do.
Okay, I'm adding a little message there.
Okay, and the message you've added says what?
It says, Up's trying to load Ethelorian's extension. They looking sus.
Yeah, super sus. As sus as it gets.
Super sus.
Okay, here we go.
All right.
We're going to mint that mood.
Yep. I'll just leave it. You don't need to see the extension. You guys know how that works. All right.
Now, the real question here is also, have you whitelisted this address or are we going back to the grave?
No, this is Draco's. Dracos.
So you don't have the grave on Dracos?
No grave there yet.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Thanks. We keep trying, and we're gonna take. I loved your suggestion about live streaming and going over the documentation too, and digging in, shooting around some cool ideas. I think that we are all in for that as well. So let's call that. Let's put that in the great ideas bucket that we have yet to do yet.
There we go. And maybe actually it's something we need to tweak a little bit here because when it's a long ass message, it's not quite centered.
When it's just a long message, it's centered. But when it's a long ass message.
Yes, that ass is super long. But there you go. You can see Up's trying to load Ethelorian's extension. Looking sus. And it tells you the timestamp. Now, let's do this. Let's go over to.
You go to page. Show me what that asset looks like.
What we're doing. That's bro.
Or actually, if you go to UE, right, like up at the top, and you look at the collectibles, would you see it there? Like, what does that look like?
Let's see if it shows up there.
It should. Or no, it doesn't. Or token. Is it a token?
Oh yeah. Wait, no, it would be collectibles. It would be collectibles. But but it has not. It probably takes it a minute to load.
Yeah, because it's being indexed. All right, try UPage, see if it's there. Alt, I'm just telling you what to do.
All right, no backseat driving, bro.
I am demanding.
All right, so let's do here this tab instead. It's kind of super slow. It's just loading in.
Turn your lights down low.
All right, here we go. Let's do
it looks.
No, we're not doing the LSP8. We're doing the actual account, and you can see him there. He is.
There's Figment. All right, click on him.
So yeah, click into him, and there you can see the move.
Zoom in on that. Zoom in on that metadata, sir.
Doom, 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 doom. All right, so now you can see we got sus. 11% of these bad boys are sus. That's the mood. We got the note. Up's trying to load a Lorentz extension and a timestamp. So these are actual traits, like they're metadata traits. So
when it says 4% are ups trying to load Ethelorian's extension, that means there's this few of them out in the wild that note could make up 4%. Is that what you're telling me?
I'm guessing that's what it is. Yeah. It'd be cool, actually, maybe if you had this, and maybe that's something else we could tweak, maybe, where if it just aggregated the day and it's like what percent are done on that day.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
As opposed to the full time stamp, right?
Yeah, that'd be cool. All right, we got somebody inbound. 3, 2, 1. Who's it going to be? Oh, it's
Kriegs.
Cool. What's up, buddy?
What's up? How's it going, Kriegs? Your mic is muted. There you go.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Doing good, buddy. I like that shirt. Gravity Sketch. That reminds me of our good old days when we were all in Gravity Sketch.
Oh, throwback. It's a great tool.
Yeah, I don't have a picture of that great artwork we did anymore.
Let me see if I can find it.
If anyone can find it, bring it up.
Oh, man.
We got a question. We got a question from the audience here. Hold on. Guna is saying, why hasn't Luxo been mass adopted yet with this playground especially? Okay, who wants to go first? Who wants to take that?
Go for it, Kriegel. Welcome.
Now you're on the hot seat. Go ahead, do it.
Okay. What was sorry. Getting adopted.
The question is, why hasn't Luxo been mass adopted yet with this playground especially? Because I feel like when we do these streams and people actually see the kind of fun stuff that's out here, they start to think, wait a minute, there's real stuff. I'm missing out on like why it isn't catching fire. And
yeah, I think it's still a hidden gem for sure. Like not many people know about these tools. And then also like from an actual like development standpoint, as someone that's not a developer, it is like from a user perspective, it's much more easy to use than other like blockchain protocols. But like from a dev standpoint, like there's a lot to it. I'm sure you could speak to that better, Craig.
Maybe.
But I mean, I'm here and like we had all these conversations in Denver about like, all of these cool ideas to build with Jean and the other team. And it's like, well, okay, we got to start at a small scale and build out what is the MVP. So yeah, as far as like mass adoption goes, I think it's just like a network effect thing.
Network effect. All right.
Yep. Just tell your friends. I think it just starts there. I mean, there's not billboards down the road and like, is that going to get people to adopt a universal profile? Maybe not. Probably not.
Yeah, not in this case. Sure.
No. I mean, like even in the case of like having a big brand require, I think what it would take for like very instantaneous mass adoption is for probably a combination of several large brands that had a high demand for a particular product to require their customers to set up a universal profile to purchase said product. That there's a lot of asks and a lot of things that would have to happen there. Okay, those entities would require like incentive to do that. they would need to have, more on the technical side, a link between their digital and physical product. Or if it's purely digital, well, there you go. It's an LSP8, LSP7. But yeah, it's a physical product. There's a few more technical things there to make it more of a seamless transaction. So we could go down this Rhino trail for a little while, I'm sure.
Yeah, big time. There might be it could be trick or treat down there. We don't know.
Yeah.
But
so I don't know if that answers the question fully of why I don't have the crystal ball or insight into the minds of all of humans on the planet, or all, not even just humans, forms of intelligence, whether they're carbon or silicon based. Because I don't know, maybe the AI are going to adopt universal profiles more quickly than humans will.
Maybe.
We'll see.
I would say people definitely don't think enough about.
Alts is chiming in
with blockchain. Just noting on that, like, more people should be thinking.
Sorry, just like
smashes. No, more people should be thinking about
shit. Sorry.
What does what would an AI want in terms of blockchain, right? Like, and just in terms of money, people are like, oh, AI is going to want to use fiat. Yeah, okay. No, AI is clearly going to want to use cryptocurrency, right? And then what kind and what use cases? Like, there's a lot of value, I think, in AI to actually have an on-chain identity and reputation system, like their own, right? Like, that's going to be pretty powerful. I think Luxo will definitely be a big player in that realm. But yeah, there should be conversation we should be having. Like, cool. Fast forward 5-10 years, we can all see where it's going. What would an AI want?
Yeah, it's a good question. We should ask them.
We should ask them. All right. All right, let's get some audience participation back in here. Every time I zoom into my face, I'm like, God damn it, shave, my man. Like, get a haircut and shave. This time of year, I'm just like, I live in the Northeast, so it's like I'm just gonna grow out a beard and I'm gonna use it to protect my skin and and yeah, whatever. It's not about me. Okay, anyway, so Tenna Logos Lex from year one says, there's no bridges to other chains, no US exchanges. That's been certainly an obstacle, but we do know we have a catalyst coming in, and we are going to get a very secure bridge to Ethereum mainnet that can be used to bridge to other EVMs as well. Awesome. That'll solve that. US exchanges, that's a matter of volume. Fancy has been really straightforward with their answers around this. You just have to listen to what they're saying. It's sustained trading volumes, and then it's on the terms of the exchange to list. We're an organic chain, so organic adoption is going to lead to organic listings. We're already on 4 of the top 11 exchanges out there, some big ones. We're just missing the notable names that everybody loves, but give it some time. If you need to use an exchange right now and you are in the US, you can use RocketX exchange. It's pretty good. That's one that people don't think about, but you can absolutely purchase Lux from there, or you can off ramp Lux from there to go back to the Ethereum mainnet. The way they do it is they actually have liquidity partners that can be DEXs or they can be sexes. So, and it sounds so perverted when you say sex. It can be sexes, but like RocketX Exchange is actually a pretty good one. That one's passed around the community, so it's one to pay attention to. All right.
Well, there's also Transacts, Uphold, and Crypto.com. Like, not great options, but they're still there.
Yeah, I prefer RocketX. It's super easy to use. You're going to have to sign the transaction. You wait a bit, right? It takes about 15 minutes because they are going through external liquidity partners, but you're still signing that transaction. Everything is on chain. It's actually quite nice. So this isn't a commercial for RocketX, but if you're looking for exposure and you're in the US market, check it out. Lex also says dev side activity is not enough, in my opinion, unless some killer app goes mainstream, which is actually a conversation we were having this morning. Actually, it was said that we are one killer app away from having a flood of activity. So that could happen at any time. And then Lex says, which with combo of Reclaim, which is zero knowledge technology, and then mainstream Web3 platforms, I think some killer projects could be built. Completely agree. Guna says, Why doesn't Lux advertise and market this? Literally no one knows about Luxo. That's actually a really great question. It's actually like the base of critique that is out there. If I go in any chat, I'll find someone saying, when marketing? And like, you're not wrong. I want to empathize with everyone saying like, yeah, it would be great if there was marketing, but what does marketing actually look like? And actually doing an audit myself on what is available and the messaging that's out there, you are missing out on some amazing material that any community member could share that would help raise the profile of this, because the most effective marketing is actually word of mouth. Word of mouth marketing is the most effective marketing. Like billboards, like Connor said, we could take out a billboard outside of Las Vegas here in the US anytime we want, but it doesn't actually mean that we're going to convert to real users. Some of the largest, most splashy ads in Denver, you just walk by. Who gives a shit? Yeah. Right? Like, I'm trying to think. There was a couple in the airport. I didn't even pay attention to them. Like they're like, I saw it. I went, crypto ad. And then it was that impactful that I completely forgot what it was immediately thereafter.
I think.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't want to cut you off. But yeah, as like marketing, like in general, like social media has changed the marketing landscape forever, and it's continuing to evolve. I think more organic and more grassroots becomes more and more relevant than like the high dollar spends, unless it's like there's that one killer app to support. Because like what is the messaging? Oh, universal profiles are for everyone. Okay, well then what are you gonna do? Right now there's some things to do on there, but like the full ecosystem isn't fully there yet. So yeah, I think it goes back to your question of like, what are you going to market, and what are you? Yeah.
So you made
what's the end user value?
You're making a great point there, Connor. But I got distracted because I saw Alts pick up the tiniest cup ever in the background.
It was like my little sake cup.
What number one, stop it! Not this early in the morning, man. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, but not here.
It's just water.
So there can be like these really large marketing splashes, and like if you're an Apple, if you're an Apple lover, they have their big product release every year, but it's around the product release itself. So they're not marketing. They don't come out and just like say love Apple, right? They come out and they say check out this new innovation from Apple, right? You're marketing a product. You're putting a product in front of people's eyes. Technologos actually says here, like, he does think they market, but there's not the apps yet. There's no apps yet that the person that knows nothing about crypto would want to use. And that is the key point, right? Like, I think that's something. There are applications that people will play with, but because the general crypto user right now is so focused on well-trodden uses, applications, like interaction patterns, let's call them, where like I go here, I farm yield, I get yield, I post that it's the best thing ever, right? Like in repeat cycle, I bought NFT early, I tell everyone to buy NFT, I sell NFT for profit, right? Now I buy another NFT. Those are like really basic patterns, but those are not the patterns that we're trying to maybe optimize a lot of the products here on this network for, because the standards here allow for a lot more use cases. So to Lex's point, like there's an opportunity here to build applications that are maybe speak to the user that's not quite here yet. And like, we have to think about what that actually looks like. And actually Lex goes, marketing is actually going to work better once we have the bridge, for sure. Agreed.
Yeah.
Because it'll be easier. The cost of onboarding a new user will be considerably lower. Right now, cost as in money doesn't mean it might be a lot, but the cost as in time and learning and figuring out how to get here, that is a cost, right? Even though it doesn't cost any money to make a profile, the cost of like, hey, you should make a profile. Here, let me explain what a profile is. All of this stuff is a cost, right? Because time equals money. Hold on.
Yeah.
There's a couple more. I just want to bring them up. So Guna says, why aren't they doing this? Speaking to big builders, developers in the space. And then I won't put that up for now. I just want to address Lex goes for mainstream adoption. We need the killer app. And I will speak to this immediately. I'll speak to this. John is out there every day and he is hustling and he's talking to builders, projects all the time. But just like there's a season for everything, sometimes like it's been a little painful for all of us who have been around for a while. We were just early. And I go back to Alex Van de Sande, who's like worked on Mist with Fabian. He said it, build up number 2. And if like he said it and it, I connect to that line when he said it, because at the time I was like, yeah, we're right on time now.
Yeah.
But he was actually directing it, I think, at the overall scope. He was like, you can be right too early and still be wrong, right? And like that's the pain that we've gone through, is like we had the right idea here, it just wasn't the time yet. But I challenge you to find another ecosystem that is as well positioned for the next, for really real blockchain adoption as this arm of the EVM. Again, we're not different than Ethereum.
Yeah.
We're just an outgrowth of Ethereum. We're another place where people who love decentralized networks can experiment and play.
Well, I wanted to speak to that just for a second too. Yeah, I mean, when you get boots on the ground and go to these conferences and talk to people, like they know about Luxo, like the legit projects, the big players. Like there's a lot of people that know about Luxo, and so it's on their radar. It's not like that. So they're doing a good job speaking to the builders, the devs, projects, things like that. Now, when that moves over to the average person, yeah, I think like you need certain things in place, like a bridge. That way you can welcome them easily. You can give them ways to come and to incentivize them, right? Like, so there's a lot more to it. But I think once the machine gets rolling, I mean, ideally, that's when you want to use some marketing, not getting, even like the tier 1, like the whole tier 1 thing. Like, I mean, just in general, that's kind of played out. Like, I mean, just getting a tier 1 listing to pump, I mean, that was like, I don't know, 4 years ago was the last time that was probably like super beneficial. It's more so about like, okay, it makes it easier to onboard people, your average normies, whenever they have a Coinbase or a Kraken, right? But yeah, so I mean, I think like ETH was alluding to, yeah, like we're positioned to actually, because I can't remember who mentioned it, but they said like, yeah, the average use, no chain out there is attracting the average user yet, right? It's just not happened. It's way too complicated from a UX standpoint to even get into this space, right? But then on top of that, yeah, there's nothing to do. It's like, oh, you can trade an NFT or you can, yield farm or whatever. But like the average person is not doing that. What is the average person doing? Social media. That's 97% of their activity online, right? And nobody's tapped into that. But we have the infrastructure to do that, right?
Yeah, that's kind of where I wanted to make a comment as well, is like if you think about like the average Web3 user, they're probably doing a lot of DeFi NFT stuff that you can do on other chains that right now there's not a huge incentive to come over to Luxo for. But if you think about the everyday person, which is, I don't know, throwing a number out there, say 90%, 80% of the world's population, what are they doing on Web2? Social media, mostly. Connecting with people, getting some information. And if we start to think about what the underlying tool sets are that are being built to facilitate those kinds of things coming on board, like within like the creator community, within cosplay and design and, just content creators in general, a lot of people use link trees as like a way to connect with their audience from like their TikTok to their X. To like, and like right now, like that's kind of like the only, or like one of the best use cases for a universal profile is like, hey, use this, create a better like link version of Linktree, and then there's like underlying like blockchain tech, but like that everyday person doesn't see the value in that like blockchain layer yet, because of lack of things like the bridge. But as soon as there's a way to like accept payments and donations and in a way to bridge it to their local fiat currency, I think it's very well positioned for more mainstream. And then I would say you'd be better. They will be in a better position to market to the general population That's just like one use case, perhaps.
Yeah. I think when we say marketing, you're highlighting like who are you marketing to? The general population, and even inside of the general population, there are so many diverse interests. Like, what is the unifying principle that brings everybody together? Right? That is
Mhm.
the golden thread that stitches it all. And I think you highlight something that's really important, whether you're playing video games on a PlayStation network, or you're playing, or you're sharing photos of your life on Instagram. Like, all of it is connecting you with other people that are remote from your location. And this social graph of connection that is non-local has become so important in people's lives. In some people's lives, it's become their livelihood. And because it's become their livelihood, every now and then the harsh reality of the centralized account layer that it's all based upon shows up. You say something that you shouldn't have in a moment of passion, let's say in a gaming network, and you get blocked and you lose your gaming account and all of the assets that come with it. You post something you shouldn't on social media, or you post something maybe you should, but the
Right.
country you're in doesn't support it. And now they revoke your social media account and all of the connections in the graph that you have attached to that, like your entire social graph, all of the worth, the value, whether it be financial or social capital that's attached to that graph, gets removed from you in an instant. The thing that, again, Luxo, its standards, its values, its vision are associated with is providing a new future where you own that graph, you own those connections, you own the assets, you own the social and financial value attached to it. And that's an expansive vision
Yeah.
that, like, I think Lex spots out here. He goes, the biggest use case right now for crypto is a casino. We haven't come, like, the average crypto participant has not come to the point where this is valuable, this idea of a decentralized social graph yet, right? We're so in the weeds on like what provides me financial value at the moment. Like, no one's better positioned than us, really, with what's been built. And that, I'm going to say Ethereum, because that's Ethereum. No one's better positioned than Ethereum, because that's what Luxo is. But at the same time, I understand the frustration that, like, we haven't yet reached the zeitgeist of, right. So people, it's like ever present in everyone's mind. It's like if you're on board with the vision and you get it, you're like, damn, why can't everybody see this? But things get adopted in their own time.
Yeah.
Marketing doesn't mean billboards. Marketing means like effectively sharing the vision and narrative to the people around you. If you're sharing, buy this investment, you open yourself up for a world of hurt if the investment doesn't go right. If you share it from the perspective of, here's a liberating technology that you yourself can get involved with and build value here, whether it be financial or social, that's a completely different vision, ask, uh, selling point, marketing strategy. And like that one's more authentic, and I think more in line with what's being created, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I mean, the I guess the narrative in Web3, it is sad, right? Like we had this bifurcation between, Web2 and Web3, and it's like, okay, it took a certain mentality to get over there and to see the vision. But yes, they have lost the plot. Like the original ethos of Bitcoin and Ethereum and stuff, right? But it's just a natural progression of cycles, like where it's become a casino. It's become the Wild West of just like taking turns just dumping on each other, and they're trying to squeeze every last drop out of it, right? And you can see that happening now. That's why we're in this bear run, because of the meme hype that we had, and it takes time for that money to find its way out of those coins, right? Because people, they're just trying to squeeze every last drop of extraction they can. But in the meantime, the actual builders of real projects like Luxo are still focused on the future, and that's I mean, yeah, that's the longer term play, right? We've been at this for a while, but yeah, it just seems inevitable that that's how we actually bridge to the average person in Web 2, is through social, not through meme casinos, right? Or whatever you want to call it. They're not using those monetary tools. Even if you figure out account abstraction completely, which they're not going to, right? Even if you somehow took it all, they're still not going to do it. It doesn't matter because they have those same things in Web 2 when they don't do it, right? So yeah, I think social's where it's at.
Yeah. So Lex has got a question. He goes, "Are you marketing to get users or bag holders?" Right. That's a fundamental question that is implicit. It sits underneath that when marketing question. Like,
well, if you market to get users, they bring bag holders with them, right? Because the bag holders will follow the network activity.
Right. But again, now I'll layer that down again. Like, are you marketing to get the non-technical user, or are you marketing to get the user that is the developer that builds things for non-technical users to?
Well, I think the focus is you focus on bringing in the builders that will then bring in the users, or you focus on brands and they will bring their own users, right? Like I think that's how it actually works, where it's more organic and sustainable, as opposed to like market to a trader that's just going to dump it as soon as they can, right? Like that's not super beneficial.
Yeah, these
exactly.
Yeah, go ahead, Connor, please.
Yeah, I mean, when Apple made the first iPhone, I don't even think there was an app store. If not, there were very, very few apps. And then all of the apps that now everyone uses on iPhone, those were built by developers that aren't like internal to Apple. So it's like that external community of builders, that's the user group. And then that, each one of those builders brings in a whole subsection of users, and that's your communities.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's a diverse, it's too easy. Language isn't perfect. And I understand when people say like, when marketing, we need marketing, or like we need builders, but like, it's really this holistic, encompassing statement that is servicing lots of different needs. When we say when marketing, that's across like marketing specifically to bring in the people who are interacting with the low level technology of the standards. This is users to use the products that developers build, because it's a chicken and the egg. Developers aren't building products if there's no users. Users are not coming to use products if there's no developers to build them. So like everything has to work in concert, but there are very different like groups that are being serviced by your marketing. So you have to have tailored marketing to it for sure. Lex goes, "Hey, your Apple App Store comparison is 100% on point, Connor." And I completely agree there
as well.
I'm just looking at some comments that are coming in. Like Guna goes, "Luxo needs to tap into the Asian market ASAP. Once they get the foot in the door in Asia, it's game over. Asia loves anime gaming, etc." I want to let you know, Jonathan spoke at on a panel at APAC DAO in Denver, right? Jonathan, the Luxo team made a tour through Asia last year, and I know John had his eyes set on expanding influence in Asia again. Like this is something that Fancy is looking at. I can't give you specific plans, but it's definitely in their crosshairs, and it's a growth area. But like, how do you target them effectively? I don't think a billboard is getting to them either, right? The most effective way to get to them is to find community members that are local to that area and building trust, building relationships, and building the narrative around it. I wanted to share this. Oh yeah, go ahead, Connor, please.
Yeah, the other thing that comes to mind is with the Asian market, and it's starting to expand here in the US as well, and I think we'll see more of it, is social shopping. That's been going on for a while in that community, and it's like you see it on like even just like TikTok Shop and Live and like whatnot, and that is an area that you could potentially see more integration with universal profiles in the future. But again, some of those tools need to be in place.
Yeah, I was thinking my X subscription just went up to $50 for the blue check, so I can use Grok. Right, that's what it is. I just went up to $50 a month.
$50. Wow, I'm glad I got grandfathered into the free one. That's nice.
Yeah, I doubt you did. I'm sure that's coming your way soon.
No,
right?
No, I did. So, no, I have. I've had that for a long time now.
What'd you pay? $8 for it a month?
No, I got it free.
How?
Because of my follower count and activity or whatever, and they just grandfathered me in for free. Yeah.
Yeah, look at you, lucky guy with 35,000 followers, right? So like I was thinking of this in context of this right here. Your X account to get a verified check is $50 a month. Now you're paying for the platform, but I'm paying now for a platform where I could be deplatformed.
Yeah. Right.
Like, for the opportunity. And I was thinking of this the other day in the context of I would much rather have my universal profile app open and be able to interact with a good community there and see what blossoms, right? Because I checked into Warpcast and I was checking that out. And again, just like clicking through the apps on my phone, like where do I want to hang out today when I was bored? And I thought to myself, it'd be really fun if I could just hang out in my universal profile. This is coming, guys. This is the value proposition of what's coming. It doesn't mean that universal profiles and UE are trying to become Twitter. What it means, though, is that this ecosystem has an opportunity to build out that sticky experience where people are coming and sticking around here, right? Because there will be opportunities for like-minded people to come together and build out these experiences in these worlds here. How do you bring more people in? Well, again, word of mouth is probably the most effective marketing out there. One that drives me absolutely bonkers when people take to the timeline and they FUD purely based upon price, because it's like you were so if you're doing that, you are so misaligned anyway that maybe it was probably best that we parted ways at some point. And well, you're free to come back in any time, but if you're feeling like the only utility you got from this project is price related, then again, maybe you're just not aligned with a long-term vision of like actually pushing the space forward. I do not want to cheapen the idea that people do hold tokens and they might want price appreciation. That goes right to the foundation, right? Like everybody is understanding that like prices is like to make money in the world is a requirement. Everyone has to feed themselves and put roofs over their heads to some extent. But when you're a token holder and you're out on the timeline and you're FUDding purely based on price movement, completely divorced from the fundamentals that are improving every single day around the actual product itself, that's just being blind to the realities, right? That is cherry picking a high leverage truth, but at the same time, it's doing a disservice to all the incredible work being done. That's when I go nuts. I'm like, what the hell is your problem, right? You're just like, you're being not helpful. Like if you don't want to be helpful, just don't do anything. But to actually be unhelpful, like that's crazy. That's like, you're drowning and you reach your hand up and like I could just ignore you. That's literally just not engaging. Or I could punch you in the face and knock you back in the water. That is literally not.
But also, if you're drowning and trying to stay afloat and you use those hands to flip people off, you're just going to sink faster, like it's illogical.
True.
It's like playing to your emotions at your own detriment. It's not a good strategy.
Hey, I wanted to share this with you guys. I don't think people even are aware. Like if you go to the Luxo YouTube page and you go to the shorts, there are tons of these clips that are shorter form clips from some of those documentary pieces with Fabian. I fell into this rabbit hole of like watching a few of them the other day because I was just looking at all the stuff that's available. And I was like, God damn, these are snappy. This reminds me of when we used to make short salts and like really work hard. Well, there's like 30 shorts here that any community member could grab and share on their so diverse set of socials, which does a good job of like explaining what is happening here. Here's one. It's like the metadata is the key to social blockchain. The ERC725Y is literally the part of the LSP0 standard that allows you to attach stuff to your account. But it also defines, like, again, it's like just like the reason why the new token standards are cool is because you have this metadata that you can upgrade and update, right? Here, I'll play it.
The most important thing is actually you need to be able to attach information, because if you can't attach information, then any kind of social thing is always kind of a hack. With universal profiles, you can attach information. That's not only profile information, but it's also information that's like relevant for a protocol. Somebody wants to invent a follower system, reputation, or any kind of protocol that needs somehow to store information on your account. They can now have multiple devices and different permissions and stuff like this. You can react on anything. You can even automate the way you react. So your account can now basically automatically do stuff even if you're not there.
The default reaction that we do is that you write any token you receive into your profile so that it creates a decentralized portfolio.
And you have the ability to extend it down the road should there be new features, missing or things that need to come. The most important thing is actually.
So I might not have picked the best video for you right now, whoever you are. But all you
we
can
are
do
kind
is
of like
flip.
being trimmed in this way. What I would like to be remembered.
My body pod from someone is watching that wants to start developing on.
But there's so many of these quick 1 minute digestible points that might speak to you. And if you find one that speaks to you and you share it with your social circle, there's probably a good chance that it speaks to them too, because there's a reason why we're part of each other's social circles, right?
Right.
So like, again, from a word of mouth marketing perspective, it's important to note the Luxo account doesn't need to share these things repeatedly. As a human, take this and share it, grab it, link to it. It's super important. It'll help tell the story. It'll help you get your point across. And there's a ton that exists here. Like
The most important thing is actually
literally there's let me see if we can, confidence is key. All right, let's see. We're gonna get into nip slips really soon. I can
Run those numbers up, buddy.
I think the other thing to note is like the messaging of that content. It feels like it's a little bit more targeted for the builder versus the user, again, because of like the tool set. So I could see those shorts and narratives changing and becoming a little bit more snippy, more of a hook to just pull in like your average doom scroller.
Yeah, the average doom scroller, just bringing them in. But like I bring this up solely from the perspective of like, look at, there's a bunch of these that most people probably don't even know exist that you could just grab. What in God's green
What
earth
is
is that sound?
Feedback.
Kriegel's living in a construction zone.
Yeah, I think that's what.
But I bring it up only because you can check this stuff out, and it's not the only ones out here. If you go to the old Keys account, there's a ton of these as well. And like, there's nothing that stops you as a community member from making your own cut up of anything, right? And like, you don't have to shill people on price. You don't have to sell people on, this is great because it's going to be your best. This is great because it's got the highest yield. You can actually tell people about what is happening here. And that is another form of onboarding, because people will want it just for the use case. I was talking to someone yesterday about like a tattooer. Tattooer is not interested in NFTs, right? Like the NFT is the tattoo, right? You know what I mean? You got the tattoo right here. They're concerned with their follower base, because like if they've built out a follower base on something like Facebook or Instagram, if they lose that account or they don't want to use Instagram anymore, they lose all their followers. Where like something like the universal profile with the follower standard and any type of, let's say, social hub built there, that follower base is completely independent of the platform and can never be rugged from you. You're always connected to those people. Like there's different onboarding points for all of these individuals, all of these different use cases, right?
I think it's only going to get aggregated more as, we continue to evolve as humans into technology and move more and more of our world online into these social settings, right? You're going to want to be able to control and own that identity and reputation, that something that's evergreen that you can just keep adding to for your entire life, as opposed to like, let me go over here for this couple of years and then a new platform. Let me just restart over here and then restart over here. And then, I said something wrong and they took me down, whatever. But it's also twofold, whenever you actually understand the use cases and the dynamics at play, it's like, yes, whenever you onboard your friends or whoever, it's like, okay, you can actually help enrich their lives. And then maybe they make some money too, right? That's great. It's just a bonus at that point. But then also with yourself, you understand the long-term vision. You're not just staring at a chart, right? It's like, okay, you understand it's just a cycle, whatever, but like, okay, let's focus on what's actually happening behind the scenes. What's getting built, what's developing, all that stuff's looking great, right? So the price asymmetry will eventually, flip, because it always does, right? But the key is like what's actually happening.
Yeah. Guna says, Ethan, get what you're saying, but how does Luxo move forward? There's a problem with getting users in. So what's the solution for that? What needs to happen for Luxo to be mass adopted? And like, if we look only at the present moment and the past, all right, let me rephrase this. If we look only at the past, we're going to be disappointed, because again, it didn't happen as fast as you wanted it to. If you only look into the future, you'll never achieve the future has this ability to run away from you, right? Like, you're looking into tomorrow, and when you get to tomorrow is really the day that comes after that, right? You never actually get to the right now, which is the present. That's the real gift. So like right now, the present is we have a network that has more productive reasons to be here than ever, literally ever before. 4 years ago, there was not as much going on as there is today. 2 days ago, there's not as much going on as there is today because things keep coming online. So how do we get the users in? This is what I'm hammering on. We get more users in by leaning into the catalytic events that are happening. The bridge is a catalyst. The protocols that launch with the bridge, which have already been discussed on that DeFi front, staking versus launching a liquid staking token, all of these advancements are coming. When these things come up, they are a catalyst event for people to then put energy in. Catalyst just like starts the reaction. Then we need to add the latent energy in the ecosystem, which is the participants that are already here using this stuff. And that activity, right, has an opportunity now to, like, let's say, affect change, right? Affect change in that, like, people see there's a lot going on here and maybe I want to participate. All of this is waiting for that bridge. None of it can happen until the bridge comes up. So, like, again, to say like we need to put a billboard up, like, why? This has been said many times. We can't, like, why put a billboard up when you can't even welcome people over here yet? Yeah. So you got to wait. Everything happens in due time, but enjoy the present for what it is, because right now there's more today than there has ever been. There is more positive signal today than there's ever been.
Well,
that app store is being built right now, and putting up a billboard to advertise an empty app store.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, one key distinction too is what is mass adoption? How do you define mass adoption? Like, okay, a lot more users, a lot more TVL, more liquidity. Like, because generally speaking, no cryptocurrency is mass adopted, right? Yeah. Yes, Guna, we need that bridge.
Yeah. Look at the stuff that crosses your timeline every day and critically evaluate, will it be here in 4 years? Does it offer a technology that is in some way better or differentiates itself from everything else that is out there? This is like a really important, muscle to flex. Like, just because someone is like, this is the chain of the future, you have to ask yourself, what is the differentiator? And there might be a differentiator there that you want to investigate further, right? And that's cool. That could be in any domain, but you have to constantly test that thesis out. You have to constantly ask yourself, is there a differentiator? Now, there's no guarantee that any differentiated chain is going to make it. There's no guarantee that Bitcoin makes it. Let's be really honest. Bitcoin is just like the preeminent meme right now, and people have decided that we're all going to believe in this meme rather than fiat for right now. But that doesn't mean that couldn't change tomorrow, because it's all meme based. Here, the reason I'm here, the reason I'm passionate about it, the reason I talk about it, I think that's the reason why Kriegel is here and Alts is here and many, many others, is because there's actually a differentiator here that serves to provide real value for humanity. It's not just a fucking casino, right? It's real value for humanity. And if you see that and recognize it, you have to also recognize that, like, nothing is as easy as you think, and nothing is going to play out in a straight line. It's just not the way world works, period. I mean, if you were with Ethereum in the early days and you really believed in the vision for Ethereum, you're probably really pissed off that we haven't even come close. And the only thing we've done is provide, like, DeFi. We have barely scratched the surface on that expansive vision. Yes.
Yes. Amen.
Yeah. All right. So, guys, I actually have a hard stop today at 11, which means I'm going to be done and wrapped up. So closing thoughts here, gentlemen. Unfortunately, we cannot stream for 4 hours today.
But do you want to shout out the upcoming stream from Luxo?
You can. I don't even know. What time is that stream at?
I think it's in a little over 1 hour. And I think it's a fancy stream, right? It's like a stream about not the bridge stream, but it's a different one. I think it's like an AMA.
All right. Can we get that? Sorry. Now I've got to find it because you caught me unprepared. Yes. Here we go. Let's get this up here. All right, here we go. And wrong screen to zoom in on. And zooming on this screen. There we go. Okay. And just in case you're wondering, pinned to the top here, here's a bridge roadmap. So if you're wondering what they're working on, what's happening right now, I can assure you everybody's cooking. This is not a stagnant roadmap. People are not taking naps in the office. I promise you. Like, this is being worked on extensively. This is kind of meta.
Yeah, it is.
Meta.
Go back. Let's see how long the delay is. Hey.
Still delaying. Might be like 15-second delay. I'm glad we're spending our.
There goes the first one. It's like 6 seconds. It's not bad.
All right. Is this AMA right here?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
16
fancy updates plus AMA.
Yeah, whatever UTC is 1600. I'm terrible at that. So
that is in 1 hour. 1 hour and 6 minutes.
Okay, perfect. So that's coming up. Make sure you tune in. I actually don't know what the topics of conversation are, but
fancy updates plus AMA. So
sounds like
you got questions. Maybe have them ready.
Yeah, sounds like we definitely get Fawn there. Maybe we'll get guest appearance from Jordy. Maybe we'll get Lucian. It'd be great to hear from Lucian. Who knows?
Yeah, it would be. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's going on. So that's that's fun for the day. And then later on, there's another technical workshop for the Nexus hackathon as well. Mustafa will be giving some insights into the LSPs associated with universal profiles and some of the, let's say, core code around that. So that'll be fun. Here we go. Let me flash this because we're at the end. Like you saw, Guna really believes that we need the bridge. And the logo says, yep, we've been asking for a very long time. You could have capitalized every letter in very, would have been fine. Then the logo says, without the bridge, Luxo is a very remote, exotic island with no flights to it. This is correct. We've been.
Are we living on that island?
Yes, we have been on that island for a very long time.
Where's our volleyball friend?
We're down to the last coconuts for sure. In the meantime, we did build some infrastructure on the island, and we are waiting for people to get here, which is actually really cool. This is true. It's not like the island. We just been laying on the shore with the SOS sign, hoping to get rescued.
No, we've built a little ecosystem. Our Wilson volleyball has become sentient. It's now an AI agent, and
yeah. So Lex goes. In the meantime, we built up some infrastructure on that island, so people don't just visit the island, but want to live there. Yeah, exactly. We don't want just passive visitors. We want people that are going to come and they are going to set up shop here.
Yeah.
And ultimately, the island expands and encompasses the entire globe. It just becomes the epicenter point of the terraforming.
Oh, I love that. In Soviet Russia, island becomes you. So, all right. Alt, you got any funny jokes for me here?
Do you guys want to hear an April Fool's joke about paper?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Never mind. It's terrible.
You're a jerk. I knew it was coming. That's why
you knew it. I mean, I'm glad you threw a dad joke in there earlier. That was great, Eth. But like, so when do you know when a joke actually becomes a dad joke? When it leaves and never comes back.
Oh.
The joke went out for a pack of cigarettes 15 years ago. Oh God. I'm sorry to all the orphans out there.
All right, but you know what they say about orphan kids?
That is still the most out of pocket joke you've ever told. I literally spit out water, and a friend of mine also was like, "Wow."
So now I got to bring out, I got to bring back more out of pocket stuff, I guess.
Pocket. Kriegel, you got anything really exciting going on today? While I killed the last couple minutes.
Always building the future,
including your house.
Indeed, yes, working on that.
Nice.
Very like spending some time like getting into some furniture pieces. Facebook Marketplace is like a good place to find some scores.
Really?
But yeah. If you can get them in time.
Yeah.
And if you know what you're looking for.
Yeah. Are you the person who goes, "Is this still available?" Like hit the "Is this still available?"
Are you that guy?
I like how, actually, I don't like how that is the auto reply, like the first thing.
Yeah, right.
Like it has that in there. I'm like, I don't know if that's the right thing to first say. But sometimes I'll throw that in there, but with an additional question, usually about like the condition, or is this an authentic piece, or is this a replica?
I thought you were like going to throw the additional question. What's your moon sign? Do you like jalapenos?
Do you know what factory this stool was manufactured in? What date, year?
Oh God, sorry. I just had a flashback to Seinfeld. George always believes that George wants to tell everybody he's an architect. I'm the only person. Kriegel, do you watch
Architect or that one episode of
I've seen
biologist?
Some. I don't think I've seen that
biologist.
Is anyone here a marine biologist?
This is angry that day, my friends. All right. Well, it's been a lot of fun. We'll come back again Friday. It's tough to it's tough to schedule everything in, but we'll keep this ripping. Is this still available? Also, do you like tacos? That's exactly right. That's
perfect.
How it is on Facebook Marketplace.
It just combines like, are you single? It just combines like all their different like platforms.
Yeah, honestly, like the meetup time for an item was like, 8:00. Like, no, I think if it's like past a certain threshold, then it's no longer you're buying something, it's a date.
Yeah. That's exactly right. I'll meet you at the local Walmart parking lot for a date. Oh God, guys. I honestly, I love talking to you. I love when we're together. Well, that's too loud. I tried to bring it in soft and missed.
Yourself.
Yeah. Wreck yourself, fool. I love when we get together and chat. Let's do it again Friday. Hopefully we have some exciting stuff to talk about. I don't know if there's ever anything exciting. We just still come back every day.
Eventually, yeah. I mean, soon there'll be more exciting stuff to talk about.
Soon.
Every day is more exciting than the next because it's an opportunity to continue to exist.
Soon Moon. I love that name, and I cannot figure out what it is. Is that Danny? That's got to be Danny. Oh God, I got it.
It looks like the ASICS logo.
It's super dope. Oh, gave me the "You boys are soldiers. We're here for you." Every day. All right, guys. I gotta jump to another commitment per usual. This streaming time we hopefully will stabilize soon. Soon. And then we can go back to maybe streaming a little bit longer, but super busy at the moment. And just keep doing what you gotta, right?
Yeah.
This is the way.
All right.
We don't need dad jokes anymore. We just need ETH dance moves.
Hey, you know what they say. Thank you.